Through our clouded lens, it seems our fast-paced world has tilted off its central axis and is listing toward destruction. The Science and Security Board, a group of concerned atomic scientists, shares this belief. It has recently reset the doomsday clock forward to 2.5 minutes to midnight. Actually, since I wrote this, I read recently that they had changed it again to 2 minutes before midnight, so we've lost another half minute. The old threat of nuclear war remains a feared ghost in the shadows. And to that we can add the increasingly dangerous effects of global climate change. Some might explain their fear by pointing to President Trump's erratic behavior, Putin's aggression, or Kim Jong-un's nuclear missile tests. But its source lies deeper in the unconscious layers of our psyche. In response to this fear, authoritarian and potentially dangerous leaders have been called up by our collective will as the ground beneath us no longer holds. As C.G. Jung reminds us, the psychology of the individual is reflected in the psychology of the nation. What the nation does is done also by each individual. And so long as the individual continues to do it, the nation will do likewise. Only the change in the attitude of the individual can initiate a change in the psychology of the nation. Another soul appears to him, which is the bird soul, which is more of the divine soul. And it seems that it goes back and forth, which is exactly the way it is in one's own dream series, if you pay attention to those, or in your own individuation process. And certainly alchemy talks about this, that if you start in the negredo, in the blackness of depression, then you will eventually rise up out of that and find a more conscious view and come to the whitening, and then you'll come to the reddening, which is the embodied understanding of that all. But the cycle keeps going around and around and around. So once you hit the white, you get back into the black, and the opposites keep moving back and forth. And that's the way it is with Jung and his animal souls, his snake and his bird. When he gets too far down into hell, into depression, into despair, then the bird soul will come and give him something from the divine, from heaven, which he needs. Will take him up and show him something, give him a crown that talks about love and joy. It will compensate for him. And so it's this backward movement between the snake talking to him and the bird soul, the divine soul, talking to him. And he's the one standing in the middle between what we would say instinct and spirit. And he's the one who actually, through his process, has to get crucified twice.
My question was in that mandala, and you write about it in your essay that's included at the back of the Red Book, the Systema Munditotius, famous mandala. Jung has Abraxas and Phanes both in the picture. Phanes up at the top with art and science, and Abraxas at the bottom with a worm, I think. So is he putting together these various God images into something even bigger, into something that contains both of them, Abraxas and Phanes? Is that how you see it?
Yeah, that's exactly how I see it. Phanes is divinity is that spark of light, is, I mean, everything positive and belongs up at the top of that mandala, whereas Abraxas is like that image of in the red book of the death worm, that
Yeah.
horrible worm that comes dark and ugly with big teeth and
Yeah.
comes right out of the ground and just wants to eat you up, would eat up the dead bodies. And
Yeah.
I mean, those are the opposites. I think what Jung is getting at here, he's really struggling with the opposites of God.